The exit poll, well, the man, I was going to give you a few more facts, but the man who knows everything there is to know about it
Not true.
is here.
I mean, it was pretty extraordinary.
Yeah,
because I mean, I heard I was in the cab and I could hear the reaction on the desk when the numbers came through. But we were going through those numbers for a while, and also kind of looking at some of the charts and the historical context. So can I start with
Please.
some charts? Is that all right?
Oh, I love
Is that
a chart.
allowed?
You just
There are many.
how far back are you going?
There are many. But here's the thing, OK, should we start with some of the constituency stories that we're hearing about? You know, we were wondering about who the big scalps might potentially be implied by the exit poll. And one of them is, of course, let's bring it up, actually, Jeremy Hunt. One of them is Jeremy Hunt. Yeah, there you can see him there. And if I just bring up some of the statistics, we'll stick on Jeremy Hunt because we're going to bring up those statistics of what is implied by the exit poll in his constituency of Godalming and Ash. You can see it just down there. OK, so this is last time around. 53% share of the vote for Jeremy Hunt. 53%. Remember that number? And now look here. 32% is implied by the exit poll. Now, this is, they say, a possible Lib Dem gain, OK? But it's actually a bit closer than a lot of people would have expected, looking like 37% for the Lib Dems. So looking quite plausible that we will, tonight, in the next few hours, witness history in terms of the Chancellor, a sitting Chancellor losing their seat. But let's just see, OK? Because what we're going to do is we're going to look through each of the results as they come through and give you a sense of whether it's kind of above, below, in line with the exit poll. And that's going to be one to watch, although that's coming up later. And Portsmouth North as well. Can we find Penny Mordaunt? So Penny Mordaunt as well, facing a real challenge in Portsmouth North. There she is, down south in Portsmouth North. And what you can see here is really kind of interesting, because this is even closer, OK? So last time around, 61% Conservative vote in Portsmouth North. 61%. Look at the blue. And now look in the exit poll, 28%. Just look at the complete collapse that you're talking about in many constituencies around the country, although in this case, it's a bit too close to call, OK? And you've got different dynamics going on that we can talk about. You know, there's a Brexit vote, it's different areas with mortgages, a lot of people with mortgages, kind of those areas with more people with mortgages tending to vote against the government. So you've got the reversion from what we saw the last election with that Brexit vote, but you've also got a mortgage story happening post-Liz Truss. Is it the kind of Liz Truss hangover? But I just want to, I mentioned a few charts to you, and I want to just show you this one, OK? This is a bit of a historic one, OK? We'll start with what the exit poll is suggesting here. Conservative seats, 131. And now this line goes back a long way. I want to just follow that line through the 90s, the 70s, the 50s, the 20s, through into the 19th century. We've never, ever seen the Conservative Party get down to these kinds of levels before, not since the adventure of the Conservative Party, the period of, the Corn Laws, Peel, all of that. There has never been another result that's like that, if the exit poll is right. So we might be about to experience history from that perspective as well. I mean, if these numbers are right, it's historic in so many different dimensions, and we haven't even talked about the SNP. But what about the Labour Party? This, too, is another one of those charts to focus on, because, look, there's the Blair landslides, OK? And again, the higher the bars are, the more seats in Parliament. There's those Blair years. 97, of course, the one to beat, kind of around about close enough to 420. And here, 410, well, it's about in line with that. And, of course, it's an exit poll. We'll have to see what the numbers do. Could be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower. But, again, we have rarely seen, apart from those Blair years, anything that's quite close to that. Look, that's Attlee there in the post-war election. So an extraordinary night for the Labour Party. But here's what's striking, OK, and we're going to tease this out. Even though the number of seats is really high, the share of the vote is not as high as you might expect. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's even lower than Jeremy Corbyn recorded in 2017. Final thing to say, OK, historic majority. So here, we're just going through, and in a sense, you can kind of ignore this because this is national government. So just look at how high these bars are. This is how high majorities have been throughout history, going back all the way again to the 1830s. And look how much higher that is than Boris Johnson, first of all, OK? So you've got Boris Johnson there, 2019, and there is potentially Keir Starmer, although we'll have to wait and see. And then looking back, it is very rare to see a majority this high, but that is potentially what Keir Starmer has just earned. And those are the numbers from the exit poll, OK? But we are going to get through actual figures as they come through from constituency to constituency. And what we'll be doing is we'll be comparing those and giving you a sense of whether this is the number to focus on.
OK, we're on the telly, Beth.
I know, so I'm getting my highlighter. Because the reason I'm getting my highlighter
is to wield it,
right?
it's no, because you talked about 2017 and the Labour vote share then was 40%.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time I was just saying to Kay, that was considered really, really impressive from Corbyn. It actually meant he stayed on, didn't it, Andy? So to get that size of majority on under 40%
It's considerably lower. It looks like it's considerably lower.
What does it look like, or can you not say yet?
We can't really say.
But I thought
it suddenly makes Theresa May look a lot better. She got 42%, you know?
Actually told an interesting story because the Labour share is hardly up. But what has actually happened is that 61% has been divided between the Conservatives and Reform.
There you go.
And it's these light blues.
That's the story of that.
It's the light blues that we're going to spend a lot of time looking at, aren't we?